Okay, so color selection factors. These are things that might affect what color a person would choose to put in their home or what color a designer would choose to put in a person's home, business, whatever they're designing. So the two factors overall, like their umbrella, are client preferences or needs and the perception of the space. And each of those can be broken down into multiple reasons, and we will break this into those. So this slide is breaking apart the client preferences or needs. Please write this. You only have this and one other slide to write today. The designers must choose colors that are preferred by the client rather than focusing on our own biases. Because remember, you're designing for someone else if this is your job. You're not designing for your own self for your job. You can do that in your own time, but not as your career if you're an interior designer or any kind of designer. So our three things that are like clients' preference factors. Psychological associations. Remember, psychological means like your brain. Is personal experiences or things that you just happen to associate with other stuff. For example, most people associate yellow with happiness. So think about like what colors you associate with happiness. Well, for example, Van Gogh, the artist, thought the color yellow, he associated that with evil. I don't know why, but you have to find that out about your client if there's any like weird associations that they have that you wouldn't ever assume. B would be culture is another factor that could be affected by your client. Colors have different meanings depending on different cultures. So you have to find out if they are of another culture or other belief and if they have any colors that have certain meanings in their home culture. Like, for example, here in American culture, we associate like white with purity. That's why you wear it at weddings or baptisms. We associate black with funerals and death. We associate purple with royalty. We associate red with danger and like high risk type situations. But those colors might mean something completely different in another culture. White, where we see that as like a good thing, that might be their funeral color in, I don't know, what other country. So you have to find out just in case. And then the third client preference factor would be trends and styles. So certain styles use particular color families. For example, what we call jewel tones are used in the traditional style. And you guys learned what traditional style was the other day. That's just like your average basic style. We see a lot around here. I'm sure a lot of your parents use it. It's just like a generic people in their 40s and 50s kind of style. But it has like dark woods, toile patterns, and jewel tones, colors that are birthstones, or the colors like I wrote the word jewel in right here. So like you have to associate that color scheme with that style. Like farmhouse style, for example. There's a lot of black, white, tan, green in farmhouse style. Well, if you went and did all the colors like yellows and oranges and reds and purples and no white, black, or tan, and you called it farmhouse, that does not go together at all. So you would not meet your client's preference if you did that and they requested farmhouse. The other bullet here is color forecasting services predict colors that will be popular in the near future. That is a real thing. I want that to be my job. So there are things called colors of the year, and each brand of color or paint makes a color of the year, picks a color of the year each year, and they predict a few years in advance, like a year and a half in advance or something, what colors are going to be popular. And designers know about it and start using them and bringing them into life. And I don't know, like if your client like really might say to you, like, I want the popular color. They don't care what that popular color is. They just think they need the popular color. It could be hot pink. They don't care. They want hot pink because that's the popular color. If Pantone, the brand Pantone said the color of the year is hot pink, yep, that's what they want. I used to make paint. My first couple of years of teaching, I did that part-time. And people would literally come into Lowe's and be like, what's the popular color? I want that one. Like, don't you want to like consider what's in your house and what that color might be? Nope, they just want the popular color. So I would look up Pantone, Pantone, and just look at their website. Like it's all the colors. We'll talk about it some in class. Or look up color of the year, Pantone color of the year, Behr, BEHR color of the year, Sherwin-Williams color of the year, Valspar color of the year, all the like paint brands color of the year. And last little slide, perception of the space. Designers must also consider the space where the color will be used, including the available light, the room size, the adjoining colors, and the texture of the colored surface. And in tomorrow's video, I will go into depth on those 4 things. You have 3 questions. These came straight off an old test. So this is very similar wording to what an exam question would look like. Okay, number 2. And number 3. To be continued tomorrow.